So, good morning, Anambra, the 17th day of September 2025. My name is Ajiluchukwu Okabwe.
And my name is Nonye. Good morning, and it's so good to have you today, being Wednesday. Elbochi, Aijasu, Asosibo. Ọ dị mma anyị na-anabata unu n'ụzọ pụrụ iche na-asị nke onye chiri ya zelo nke a bụ ihe mmemme Good Morning Anambra. Taa bụ Wednesday bụrụ mkpụrụ ụbọchị abalị 17 n'ime ọnwa Septemba n'afọ a bụ 2025. Ama m na ị larụrụ ọfụma. Ngwa sonyela anyị na anyị ga-agbapụ ọsọ ka anyị je wetala unu ihe mmemme press review. Ọ dị mma anyị enwego onye ọbịa sonyela anyị n'ụtụtụ a iji wee nebanye anya n'akụkọ akwụkwọ ndị anyị ji bịa n'ụtụtụ a bụ Chidubem Ezekwe kwa mkpọtara ya taa. Ọ dị mma anyị na-anabata gị na-asị gị nnọọ daalụ maka oge gị ma ihe gbata uhie chọrọ ịnọchiri gị ụzọ nnọọ. Ọ dị mma dịka anyị si eme ọkwa anyị gụpụta ya na bekee anyị tụpịazie ya n'ọnụ Igbo ka anyị jee n'akụkọ akwụkwọ.
Yeah, let's begin with the news making rounds on ABS website, and the first news we have is Anambra State Assembly seeks review of poor IGR windows. Norgay cautions members against anti-union activities, impersonation of leaders. Anambra State Assembly Committee takes oversight functions to Education Ministry. And we have federal government to invest more on innovative projects. Court stops U.S. President Trump from sacking Federal Reserve Governor Cook. Also, we have Trump threatens to sue New York Times for $15 billion over defamation and libel. That's all we have for you on the front, rather, on ABS website.
Ọ dị mma Chidubem amara m ebe ya ga-esi tinye ọnụ akụkọ kalị. Kedu nke uche gị na-aga na ya?
Okay, let me just make some few comments on each and every one of the topics there. Anambra State Assembly seeks review of poor IGR windows, that's internally generated revenues. It is a very significant part of any state or any country. You know, their revenue should be looked at. I got bomb before I and they go see because I wouldn't get them up if we see Nako. Anyway, can I send them mother? I got long game me. Open where they go. I can then also pitch into USA money for hand, back for floor. So if there is no money, you are wasting your time. Then National Union of Local Government Employees, that's not a cautions members against anti-union activities and impersonation of leaders. It is very bad. We keep hearing this thing. And then they keep telling us that no wabuchiba and also. Like you can imagine, like anti-union activities, impersonation of leaders. What are you doing as a member of the union when all you do is anti-union? I just like could you be a member of PDP? Anti-party. I don't want to mention this. Then Anambra State Assembly Committee takes oversight functions to Education Ministry. Interesting. That sounds nice. FG to invest more on innovative projects. Okay. Court stops U.S. President Trump from sacking Federal Reserve Governor Cook. Interesting.
Court.
Ebe ị ga-asị ebe a na-eme iwu debe iwu.
Ọ bụ nọ na-aba ya ebe a. Court. Or court ikwu ka nọ baba sọ pé.
Well, in Nigeria, sometimes it is not really about the court. Yes, there is corruption, a very significant, undeniable corruption, humongous malversation in Nigeria. But sometimes it's not really about the court. It's about the citizens not even knowing their right. Number one. Number two, not knowing how to go after their rights.
Honorable Chidubem, kedu onye ifugo na banya jelo nya obele mmadu. What's no last hope of the common man? Manakita okawo last hope of the common man.
Okay, I will.
Anya also ni ihe melo na munwa ayeje ichokune mama chona.
Out of court settlement. That is what because they will adjourn case to the extent that the rich man that you have sued will now be paying your transport to court. If right now it's finished now. Otila, you will like there are times when it's about us knowing how to go after our rights. You understand? Because there are some things that are not admissible in court, and there are things that are actually admissible in court. And so many of us don't really understand that particular aspect.
Onye nta dị mkpa nwa ka ya bụ na ijelu inweta ezigbo ikpe kwụ ọtọ ka anyị gbapụ ọsọ ka anyị jee na akụkọ akwụkwọ mbụ anyị ga-enanya ka anyị fụ akụkọ dịgasị ebe anwa bụ The Guardian newspaper bụ akụkọ akwụkwọ mbụ anyị na-enebanye anya n'ụtụtụ a. Anyị bịa na Guardian, insider threat, low confidence, hobble $14 billion aviation target. Igafia na page 6. PDP throws 2027 presidential ticket open to all regions. Food, transport, housing, others remain key inflation drivers. Atiku meets U.S. envoy in Abuja, flays tribalism in Nigeria. Obi decries normalization of violence as Kwara youths make distress call. FG is insensitive to doctors' welfare. NMA retreats. Showore files countersuit as DSS sues him. X, Meta, and over anti-Tinubu posts. Tinubu returns as Fubara set for reinstatement. LP 6 emergency rule probe. Igafukwazi International Day. Lagos warns against using ozone depletion gases for refrigerators. Others. Crude output improves as Nigeria records first full pipeline availability in 20 years. Ajena Daily Sun, Ozuboka, Bitutu aya Tunyonu Noku. Na Daily Sun, I for all set for Fubara's return. CSOs, NYC, and others march for peace, unity. IPOB disowns nabbed notorious pro-Biafra commander Gento de Yahoo. Nigerians won't accept insecurity as destiny, Obi warns. A Edo governor unveils, okay, akuka ha nwekosi wedi. Ngwaka aitinye onu n'okwu Chidubem enwe ihe mfula ebe a Showore files the counter suit as DSS sues him, X, Meta, and over anti-Tinubu post. Ona enwerozi room for criticism na banya mbo.
Well, it is a very delicate matter.
Criticism it
is part of democracy. It is a very delicate matter. It is a matter that should be looked at with utmost delicacy and caution. Yes, there is room for criticism. There is room for antagonizing the government. There is room for vituperation and animadversion. Constructive animadversion, not animalistic animadversion. However, the Department of State Services, the presidency and the president, is only in Nigeria I have seen that there is president and presidency. Well done. The presidency or the president and the federal government as a whole will decide or can decide to say that the criticisms were not really criticisms, that they were done to lampoon the government, they were done to insult the government. But from what I gathered last night, we are still getting to know really what happened in that case, because I want to know exactly what's happening. Like, I want to read the suit from side A and read the suit from side B before I know exactly what I'm going to say. Because Obama, see this country, I got it.
What do you have to say about PDP throwing?
That is exactly what I'm about to talk about. PDP throws 27 presidential tickets. Open to all regions. You see? Before they said they have zoned it to the south. Now they have made U-turn. They have undergone transmutation without recourse to proper transmogrification. They have switched from one chamber to the other. And this is the problem I have. I keep saying this. APC has humongously, for the umpteenth time, told you people since last year, we endorsed President Tinubu for a second term. They have taken a stand. You people, opposition party that is not supposed to be arrogantly ignorant, opposition party that is not supposed to have factions, opposition party, the greatest opposition party that is supposed to be one, unanimously so, they have decided to take sides. They have decided to play games with their own cards. You see, 2023 was when the PDP had all it took, had all the powers, had all the probable and possibly visible opportunity to regain power. Yeah. But they have lost it. I tell you, President Tinubu will win if this thing continues like this. Before afternoon, he has won the election. Who is against him? And then the worst part again in Nigeria is that you cannot have an individualistic campaign. There must be party. And that is what tires so many individuals. When you check, I don't have an avenue, I must go through party. And then you look at the party, you look at the people who are running the apparatus, who are holding the apparatus of the party.
Open door meeting.
Those things we just...
Jonathan
let me interpret that one for you. Closed door, open door, Fancha Utawuneshi, Akwan Daily Abane. All of them will end in Akwan Daily Abane. Mind you, for all you know, you might be complaining about your malaria to an Anopheles mosquito. The person you think has your interest at heart may be going to those meetings to endorse even the person you don't want. There is nothing there. Okay, now, I keep saying this, even though some people will not like what I'm saying. The people who are in the coalition, as far as I am concerned, I listened to Senator Dino Daniel Melaye days ago. Senator Dino said that ADC is an association of repentant politicians. And I smiled. That's nice. There is room for repentance. There's room for forgiveness and being oblivious when it comes to forgiveness. There is room for that, you know. But as far as I am concerned, I have not seen any repentance. When a coalition is formed based on grouse, is formed based on self-aggrandizement, is formed based on lackadaisical mannerism, topsy-turvydom, upside-down peregrinations, what do you expect? It will just end in bigger calamity, bigger cataclysm, bigger catastrophe for everybody that cares to listen. Then about the return of the governor of Rivers State. On 18th March 2025, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State. It sprung up humongous criticism among citizens of Nigeria. And it brought questions to my mind. So many of my friends, the governor we elected. And I was like, wow, the governor you elected, really? How the tables can turn, wow. You people were the ones that said, similarly Fubara and Nyesom Wike rigged the election in 2023. Now, because Fubara had issues with Nyesom Wike, you people are now siding with Wike. I said this before and I repeat. When you have signed the devil's agreement, I'm not saying that there's a devil's agreement though, but when you have signed the devil's agreement, sworn to, out of your own volition, don't you dare come to complain to me when you and the devil start having issues. It is to your tent, O Damascus, not even Israel. Now, all is set for Fubara's return. Yes, it is in the Constitution. I think section 303 or so in the Constitution. And if you read the law signed by President Obasanjo in 2004, it empowers the president, because most people are just talking. They don't even know what the law says. It empowers the president under emergency rule to suspend some sections of the Constitution. Yes, it does. And it's unfortunate that we have that kind of law.
But there are certain preview to those suspensions.
That is what I am saying.
Should there be war? Should there be loss of lives? Should
Yes.
there be insecurity?
Yes. Yes.
So many things are cited in that. But in the case of River State,
Yes.
none of those things actually played out. None of those things. We were not at war. River State is not the worst thing when it has to do with insecurity. And
to be sincere with you, if the
was there civil unrest?
Yes. There was. Yes, there was. That's what I want to explain. If that stuff didn't happen, the so-called state of emergency or whatever, if it did not happen, trust me, the House of Assembly would have impeached Governor Siminala Ifobara. Yes. They were already prepared with the songs. River State can be. They can be.
That's ember of flames that is being fired.
I know.
Outside.
And of course, the governor erred in his own way. You understand? How can you seize the allocation of house members for that long? It's not done anywhere. See here. What is wrong with some people? What you are supposed to forbear is what you are trying to forgive. What you are supposed to forgive is what you are trying to forbear.
If okay, maka iwu na obodo ndo chasi na ebie ana-aba eme iwu edebe iwu. Mana ibifugo na ba anya na ndị anwa na-eme iwu bụ emecha anya ha ya adakwu ya. Emechakwu sef ọ dịka ha emeghali anya ka o wee dabalo ha.
Now,
so if na ihe niile gara aga.
Exactly. Now, in 2022 there was a law passed then. In 2022, they called it Electoral Act. Do you know that in that law, it gives INEC, in fact, it states verbatim and literatim, that it is the duty of INEC, their exclusive preserve and singular prerogative, to transmit results however they like, unless National Assembly says otherwise. And National Assembly know that I'm coming. There is something I want to divert.
Electronically.
That is exactly why I'm saying. That is exactly why wait. That is exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. They fooled us all. They played the first one on us. They know that the law mandates them to do it however they like. And they told the youths those things, and the youths believed. When they got to the law court, what did the judge say? The judge said, quoting the law, ipsissima verba, word for word, it is your exclusive preserve and singular prerogative, your obligational right to transmit the results however you like. What you owe Nigeria is the result. Here comes my grouse. What is my anger? The members of the Senate, the members of House of Representatives, 109 inside A, 360 inside B. You all know that it is your duty to change this law. 2023, 25th of February, till now is how many days? More than 700 or 600 and something days have passed. Nobody has passed the bill in National Assembly that we want it to go like this. Let the results go electronically. We didn't do it. They don't do it. But by 2027 now, you will hear them shouting like moral policemen, shouting like people who are disgruntled, shouting like people who have lost their senses. We are going nowhere. And Allah.
Obo my ear basali wuna buy. Can it?
Is the Daily Times newspaper. Let's begin with the stories making rounds on the mast of the Daily Times newspaper. $100 billion annual investment needed to revive Nigeria's middle income class. That's coming from the minister. Insecurity threatens Benue's role as Nigeria's food basket. That's coming from reports that you can find on page 4. And the banner headline, DSS plans criminal charges on Showore ex Meta over anti-Tinubu post. And then we have here the picture of the president. I like